the Carson City Culture and Tourism Authority Board of Directors meeting. It's July 11th, 2022. It's 4 o'clock, and we're in the Carson City Community Center, the Robert Bob Kroll Boardroom. Linda, can I get a roll call?
Yes, Mike Jones,
Present.
Bobby Rader,
Present.
Stacy Giomi.
Here.
Is Steve Kim on?
At this time, no.
Steve Kim and Steve Reynolds are absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Can I ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This time I'll ask for public comment. I don't see any, so we'll move on. I would like to make a comment. There'll be a change in the agenda. Item 9, we will be tabling that until August, the August meeting. KPS3 has some folks out ill, and they were unable to attend, so we will table that till for August. Next, I'll move to item 5, approval of minutes of the June 13th, 2022 CTA board meeting. Does any board member have any questions, changes, corrections to the minutes? If not, if I can get a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Say no. Hearing none, motion passes. That will move on to the consent agenda. Again, there's no public to ask for anything to be pulled from the consent agenda, but we'll ask the board members if there's any individual item that they'd like pulled for individual discussion. All right, hearing none, if I can get a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. With that, now, David, we'll go directly to item 10, the non-action items for presentation and discussion only. So we'll start with the executive director's update.
Thank you, Chair Jones. For the record, David Peterson, Executive Director with Visit Carson City. I just have 2 things on my report for this month. Want to let the board know, as a follow-up to last month's copier lease discussion, that we did enter into a 5-year lease with the Ray Morgan Company for a new Canon Image Press C710. And we hope to see that machine at the end of July, probably beginning of August. Chris did an amazing job of working through the quotes and the responses to the NASPO agreement and process. So thank you, Chris, for all of your work on getting that lease in place. And it's a significant savings to Visit Carson City in our monthly budget. So excited to get the new machine in place here, hopefully in the next 4 weeks. The second thing I just wanted to let everybody know, we're going to be sponsoring the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame exhibition, a part of the machine at the Artisan Gallery inside the Brewery Arts Center. And that wonderful exhibition will hopefully start, I think, this weekend if all goes according to plan and everything arrives on the truck. And then at a minimum, it will run for 90 days. Or until such time as another destination decides to pay for the shipping to bring that exhibition to their community. So we might get this for a year, quite possibly. So super excited to be a part of that. And we're actually going to be, I just saw the imprint or the logo or whatever for the little change purses. So we got our logo. Gina's been kind enough to put us on the coin purses, the old-fashioned coin purses that the quarters will be in to play the pinball machines and everything for people. So pretty cool thing that we were part of there as well. So those are my 2 updates for this month. Any questions from the board?
How did we come across the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? How did that come to us?
Well, Gina has actually, she's been working on this. You know, she had the Snoopy exhibit over at the Bree Art Center. And this is something that we spoke with her, several months ago. Deborah, if Deborah was on, she could be more specific about it. But we talked with her a while ago, and the reason things kind of stalled out is the cost of shipping the exhibit went up 4 or 5 or 6-fold. Instead of 15,000, it's like $70,000 or $80,000 of shipping costs. So Gina was able to kind of rework this deal with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame people to basically say, hey, we're happy to keep it here, at the Brewery Art Center. And then if another destination wants to pay the shipping to get it from Carson City to wherever, then she will, let the exhibit go, obviously. So, I think it's a really cool opportunity, and I think it'll bring people in from all over the country to see these different machines and the exhibits and everything over there at the BAC. So, any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you. With that, let's go ahead and move on to 10B, the transient occupancy tax, actual versus forecast. So that's the big sheet of paper in your packet. You can see we're still tracking just a little over 26.7 million for the fiscal year. Last month, our projection was 26,705. So with some additional dollars coming in April, we actually were ahead of the projection that we had a month ago, and we came in a little bit lighter for May than last month, but we're still within about $5,000 of where we were projecting the full fiscal year last month. We're going to hold June based on last June, as in June 2021, and I think we're going to hit that number just based on some preliminary discussions with hotel properties. So that's what our fiscal 22 looks like, 26.7 million plus or minus. Any questions from the board? Okay.
Yeah, I just.
Oh, yeah, go ahead,
sorry,
Stacy.
Got to my mute button too late.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know we were gonna, I don't know if we were gonna talk about this, the steam up or not, but I know it was a huge success. I know we ended up close to 8,000 participants, and I know early on there was a lot of out of town participants. So I guess I'm wondering if you've heard any feedback, just early feedback on how full things were. And my suspicion is the town was pretty much sold out, if not entirely, pretty close.
Yeah. Stacy, this is Mike. Yeah, I was going to speak to that during the arts and culture piece, but perhaps you're right. It was a wonderful event that, a few weeks out we were concerned, but ended up with over 7,000 participants. And if even 10% of those people were out of town guests, that's 700 rooms. And I think there was more than that. Well, I'll just take off my board chair hat and put on my hotelier hat. I know we were sold out for the weekend, and I believe the rest of the hotels in the city were too. And a lot of the group did not go through the block that we had set up, and so they were just going through the OTAs. But I talked to a lot of people over the weekend that were here for that event. So kind of our first. I don't know what that is.
Is somebody on? Sorry,
Anyway.
Stacy, I don't know if you could hear. While we were hearing, there was some
Yeah, I did.
feedback. Okay.
I was hearing it.
But-
I was hearing it too. It sounded like bats in your belfry, Mike, but I'm not sure.
But I thought it was a first kind of use of our 1% for culture and art tourism, and I thought it was a huge success. I mean, it hit heritage, it hit culture, it hit history, all of our brand pillars. So now you've taken my spiel away from arts and culture, but to answer your question, I thought it was a great event. I wish it could be yearly, but I don't think it quite works yearly, but maybe 5 years from now, we might bring it back if we could.
Yeah, Stacy, I would echo what Mike said. I think the biggest complaint we had from people is they could not get a room in Carson City. So they had to find a
Right.
room elsewhere.
Yeah,
And-
and how many times can we think of in the past that that's happened?
Right.
Agreed. Yeah, and Stu was just reminding me that the folks with the Friends of the Nevada State Railroad Museum, we have a survey. It is going to go out to every single email address that was used to purchase a ticket. So I'm hoping we'll have several hundred responses back, and we'll capture data on the folks. Again, I don't want to get ahead of, Deborah's presentation, but, from 30-something states, multiple countries, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. So I think we'll have a pretty good, robust sample, and we're actually asking in the survey, in spite of some of the challenges with the group codes and the booking links and things not working correctly and attributing correctly in the property management systems, we're actually asking, where did you stay overnight? In other words, Carson City, Reno, Lake Tahoe, then what property did you stay at as well? So we'll try to use some of that follow-up post-conference survey data to hopefully piece some things together, as to how things really looked for Carson City, as well as I think our peers, within the territory. So, but
Yeah.
hugely successful. Honestly, I think this is the biggest ticketed event in the history of Carson City, from what I can gather, as far as ticketed event data is concerned. So really successful.
I think it'll change the way we look at these events and how, the fact that, a lot of locals, but certainly I saw food and beverage increase in revenue, so people are out and about there. I think that's probably the case across the town.
Yeah, and I would just add to that, I guess, if I can, Mike, or Chair Jones, I think it was more than just how much we collected, how many rooms we had available, as Mike said. Maybe the narrative we need to look forward, be more forward thinking about this is, what's the revenue per visitor, right, that we're able to generate with an event like this? Because, as you know, we only have, 1,300 saleable rooms in Carson City, and you're trying to bring in 7,500 people. Well, clearly, we don't have enough rooms to accommodate those folks, but they are eating at the restaurants, they're going to the bars, they're going into museums, they're going into gift shops and galleries, and they're purchasing things. And so looking forward, I think we need to think, kind of bigger about that and look at, what's the revenue look like on a per visitor basis. And so I'm hoping to bring some of that modeling or that metric type analysis forward for us as we start looking at these events, especially bigger events like that, where we know not everybody's able to stay here in Carson City. So,
Well, sorry to jump the gun, but I felt it joined in on the revenue side there, and
yeah.
so I appreciate the indulgence. Thank you.
Oh, no, of course. I think these first 2 weeks, last July was a record, right? We did 3.92, I don't know where we're at, 3 million or whatever, single biggest month we've ever had. I think July this year has a chance to beat that number, just based on what I've heard from the properties so far with these first 2 weekends. Because even this past weekend was huge with the farmers market, the Brewery Arts Center with the Young Dubliners. We had the wonderful car show, the downtown, car revival show. That had almost 399, I think, registered cars, but there were a lot more cars than that just didn't have the little, stickers in their windows. So, boy, it was a super busy weekend, last weekend as well. So,
Yeah, the hotel business at my property is up 20% for the first 10 days compared to 21. So starting off good.
yeah, no, I think it's all positive, all good. So, Stacy, did you have another question, or you okay?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, no, great. All right, let's go ahead and move on to 10C, the events and sales update. Stu, take it away, please. And Stacy, can you guys see? I just want to make sure you can see do you see the presentation?
Not yet.
Okay.
We see the room. There you go. Now
Oh,
we see
perfect. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. So as we're going through the events and sales, so for me, June was a big month. We had the IPW show in Orlando, Florida, and that was all week long, and it was really the first big show since COVID. They did have one in Vegas last year, but from what I understand, it wasn't quite as big. There were for almost 5,000 people at the Orlando show, a lot of international travel. So it was quite a large show, and all of us, we were all in the Travel Nevada area. Myself, Reno, Travel Nevada, and Elko as well. So we were all in Travel Nevada. As far as it was a lot of domestic, international buyers, tourism, motor coach people, people just looking for fam tours. And for me, it was quite an event. It was really the first one I've been to of that size. So for the first time, we had quite a few appointments. Just to give you an idea, this is what our booth looked like. And they did a fantastic job, too, in just showing Carson City. Just a quick synopsis of who we are. We're Stewart Indian School. Of course, I had to be there, but, you know. And everyone loved it. It was all our decorations tabletop showed the maps of Carson City, proximity to Lake Tahoe, just showed us how we are really the hub, to Reno Tahoe International Airport, San Francisco, Lake Tahoe, Virginia City. So and that's one of the things we talked about, just the location of where we are in proximity to everything else and how easy access it is to get around and see everything. So I'm going to see, I'm just looking for the, I wonder if this will come. Oh, there. So I don't know if you can see it. I just took a short video of our booth. We had a welcome to Carson City shuffling going all the time, so people could see what was going on. They would come and watch it and ask questions about it. It went on for quite a while, and it showed a lot of what we have as far as the pictures up there as well, and just giving away our Kit Carson Trail, our Visit Carson City, and some of the others. People were very interested in that. So, and then, so we were allowed to schedule 50 appointments. For the first time, I actually had about 45 appointments scheduled, 43, 45. And then we had, you always have some no-shows, and I did have some cancellations, more towards the last day. What we found are, everyone kind of wanted to get out the last day. And then, so after I came back from the show, it took me a while. I was still following up because I did get sick. So it took a little bit for the follow-up. So the main interest that I found was the history of Carson City. People are especially an international group, they were very interested in the Wild West. They wanted to see the history, the Kit Carson Trail, and a lot of people were interested in Stewart Indian School. I started going over that and, some of the history of it, what it was, what it is now, and what it meant to Carson City in our area. So did see a lot of interest in that. Also, obviously, Lake Tahoe was a very big interest, especially in the wintertime, skiing, all the hiking and the outdoor activities. But a lot of folks were interested in the skiing up in our area. And then I did see, we did talk to some senior groups that were looking to come to a smaller venue. Everyone goes to Vegas. But I did find that there are a lot of groups out there, tour guides that want to bring smaller senior groups to our area. And just like the idea of it's a quieter place, we still have the lodging, obviously, facilities. They want to be able to see museums and a lot of interest in just some of the outdoor activities. But the history of Carson was a big draw for them, a lot of interest. And obviously, 50% or even a little bit more did not know that Carson City is the capital of Nevada. I found that everyone, when you say Nevada, it's Las Vegas, even Reno. A lot of people, have heard of Carson City, but when you say Carson City is state capital, mostly everyone, like I said, had 50% thought it was Las Vegas. So that's part of our goal too, is to make aware of everyone out there that it is Carson City that's the capital, not Vegas, not Reno. So, and I continue to follow up on that, like on a lot of the appointments I had. And so there's a lot of interest in there. And I think a lot of people, after picking up some of our information, brochures, and then what I'm sending out as far as emails, starting to see a lot of interest. And the next IPW for 2023 is in San Antonio, Texas. So, well, that'll be a larger venue too. And so what I've been working on, there's an interest in, and Lydia knows this, the bike hikers is becoming a very big group, a venue. It's a group, private group. It's more retired folks that go around the country. This one's based out of California, kind of in the El Dorado Hills. And they go around to different parts in California and all over the country, and they take their bike hikers. It's a private membership, so it's not open to the public. But the Sacramento bike hikers are looking to come up here in Carson City around October. And they're going to have about 20 to 30 bike riders from their group. And they'll be here for about 3 days. And they're looking to make this an annual event with the possibility of even expanding the bike riders to about 40 or even higher. It just depends, as they get along, who they can draw and, what they can bring here. So that is looking in October. I've talked to the coordinator a few times. I just talked to him today, and they are looking mid-October to come to this area. So I think that with an annual event would be great for Carson City. They love the area. They've been through it before, and I think it'd be perfect for what they want to do. So is there any questions from the board, by the way, either on IPW or on this? All right. And I have been we are working on a California Rugby League. Rugby has become pretty popular, and we're looking to do, the group I've talked to is out of California, based out of California, where rugby is really popular. They have shown a great interest in Carson City. What they would like to do is have one game next year, sometime next summer, we're still working on a date, where they would have their California team play an international team, either Australia or they would be coming up from Brazil. And this would be one game. I had the people come up here right before the 4th of July, and I showed them around as much time as they had because they were based in, they had to get back to Utah and California. But they think Carson is the perfect venue for a game like this. And it's depending on how this game would go, they would like to make this an annual event with either 1 or 2 games during the year. They think Carson is perfect for it, and so I'm going to be working with the school district and the Parks and Rec, looking at setting this up for next year, probably next June or July. You know, we have to look at the schedules for the upcoming events for then as well. So this is pretty. I don't know if any of you are familiar with rugby, but it's like football without any equipment. So I'm just going to show you a real clip, and don't be alarmed if they get hit, because this is how rugby is. And obviously, rugby is very popular in the Australian area, Australia and Brazil, and they already have big games in Vegas and Salt Lake City. So, and they're even looking out east towards the Elko area, doing a training facility. But they really want to bring this up to Carson City. And so we're going to be working on that, and this would be sometime next summer. Anybody have any questions? And
questions
that's
for
about
Stu?
it for me.
Yeah, any questions for Stu? Awesome, Stu. Well, thank you.
Sure.
Again, we're trying to diversify here, and so I think a couple of great opportunities, you know, with some different groups, a different sport here. So it starts to put Carson City on the map, you know, maybe on a small scale for different types of sporting events. So good job, Stu, on that front. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to 10D, Arts and Culture Update. And I think Deborah is on the phone. Are you on, Deborah?
I'm on the phone. Can you hear me?
We can, yeah, perfect. And Lydia is going to,
Excellent.
yep,
Okay.
run the slides for you. So just let her know when to advance.
Okay, well, just going to the overview, I am going to give you an update on arts and culture activities. 4 main activities: the Great Western Steam Up, the Mark Twain Mural, the Public Art Policy, and Art on the Trail. So looking at the Great Western Steam Up, the event was a huge success. I think it's fair to say that it exceeded everyone's expectations, and it has almost universally positive reviews from everyone. So there were a total of 7,500 tickets sold for the event. The original goal was 4,000 to 6,000 tickets, and their cap was 8,000. So they did extremely well on the ticket sales. And the visitors to the Great Western Steam Up came from about 30 different states across the country. And there were even a few that traveled to the event from Europe and Canada and Australia. So it was a huge success. I'm sure David will elaborate on it a bit further. I'll move on to an update on the Mark Twain mural. So the project panel for this new mural has been established, and the panel is going to hold their first orientation meeting next week. These images that are on the screen are just examples of other Mark Twain murals from across the country. The mural that will be created for Carson City and showcased during the Mark Twain Days Festival is to be completed and installed before April 2023. The location of the mural will be determined in collaboration with both the city and the DBA, trying to identify the best location in the downtown area for this artwork. The panel will start to create an RFP for the mural, and that will enable selection of the artist and the criteria for the project. Looking at the public art policy, the public art policy has been reviewed by city staff and myself. It includes input from a number of city departments who will play a role in the acquisition, in the installation, and the maintenance of public art. It will be going forward onto the Cultural Commission agenda at an upcoming meeting later this month. And the adoption of the public art policy will be an important step in moving forward with major public art projects once it gets through the Cultural Commission and then goes to the Board of Supervisors for their consideration. And Art on the Trail. So planning for the new outdoor art experience is progressing, and we're in negotiations at the present time with a plein air painting artist and instructor who could lead the outdoor painting session. We're discussing formats and fees for this. I've also been working with Loretta Burden. She's a Fallon Paiute Shoshan artist who will lead a basket weaving workshop. Loretta is a basket weaver, teacher, and a multimedia sculptor, who's exhibited her basketry in art exhibitions statewide. We also have an instructor for the gourd art session, and we're hoping to involve another Great Basin artist who would lead a workshop on natural materials jewelry making. So all around, it's shaping up to be an interesting and quite widely varied series of outdoor workshops that will be followed by a meal and some music at Silver Saddle Ranch. And I'm working with Dan from Parks and Rec on including this event in the Parks and Rec calendar, and they're going to assist with ticket sales for this first event. I think that's it. Are there any questions?
And Deborah, this is Mike. I think you got on after the meeting started, but Board Member Giammi, we and the board spoke about the success of the Steam Up, and just what a great event that was, and kudos to you and everybody involved in bringing that. This is exactly the kind of event I think we need. We need more of them, but just a great event. Any other comments to Deborah from the board?
Yeah.
No, I should also just give a shout out though for the other partners. We were just a small piece of the puzzle for that event. You had the Friends of the Nevada State Railroad Museum, the Railroad Museum themselves, the board put in a tremendous amount of money. Travel Nevada was a huge supporter of this event with resources, staff, advertising and marketing dollars as well. And Tiffany East did an amazing job for all of them as the event promoter, and then Melissa Dietz did the media purchase to help coordinate with all of us. So it was really, I think, a great collaborative effort with several different entities, public and private. So hats off to everybody. If there are no questions for Deborah, let's go ahead and move on to 10E, Marketing and Public Relations Update. Lydia Beck, take it away. Daisy, Bobby, you guys still can't see it?
We can see it, but we cannot hear her.
I can't hear her either. This is Steve.
We're gonna switch microphones here real quick.
So you're on the line. So I guess we need to make a note that Board Member Kim has joined the meeting.
Okay, testing this one. There we go.
At the beginning, you missed me, huh?
We did, Steve, but we've got you now. Thanks for joining. All right, so
Yeah,
presentation.
my pleasure.
All right, I'm glad you all can hear me now. So we're also accompanied today by Zach Bragdon, who is our multimedia content coordinator. Of course, we're showing a few things today. We have our PR report, an update on the Expedia Spring Campaign Co-op. We have our grants update. We also have an update and to show you the new Kit Carson Trail audio tour that's finally finished. And then, of course, our commercial and some photos that are from the integrated marketing campaign update. So we'll get the brass tacks out of the way first with some of the technical stuff. So the PR report, for this month, we had 5 stories that were circulated by our efforts. So in June, we focused on the marathon of events that kicked off the summer. And we were also able to promote that on Colo TV with Denise Wong. I did an interview in station. And so we're hoping to make more connections with her to be able to do more in-house interviews and make more of a presence in the Reno area, just letting people know what's going on in Carson City. We also had traction on the free admission for Juneteenth at the Nevada State Museum. We had press around the Lebanon concert series and the other events that are happening at the BAC. So those are just some of the stories that came out that we pushed this month, but we also hosted our Influencer Fam Tour that went really well over June 25th weekend. So I'll have the assets and kind of a full update at the next board meeting that I'll present at. We'll also have metrics from them too. So we worked with a new company to be able to source and find the influencers this year. They're called Glocally, and they were a wonderful partners to work with, and we really hope to work with them for all future influencers that we bring in. They just make life a little bit easier for us and do a great job with negotiating and finding the right people for Carson City. We're also continually seeing articles about Stewart and stories surrounding Indian boarding schools. And we also hosted one journalist this month, Kim Horg, who's actually pitching some stories to different publications about her visit. So there's more to come on that. And these next slides let you read through those on your own, but what you see in red are the articles that we pitched that got picked up, and the rest were kind of organically picked up through other efforts. For the Expedia campaign, we did a spring co-op that ran from May through the end of July. We don't have the final numbers, but this was all up until about the last week that it ran. So we were thrilled with the results from the investment on this. So we overall ended up with over 2,000 room nights from this 3-month campaign, and over 3.74 million impressions were delivered for a total gross bookings of $1.374 million. So overall, we're very happy with our investment on this, and we will continue to participate in these for as long as Travel Nevada, I think, will continue to co-op with Expedia on. For the fiscal 23 grant update, we are incredibly excited to be one of the 2 DMOs, actually I think in the whole state, that receive full funding for all of our grant asks. So we have $41,250 that was awarded, and we have some exciting projects that we'll be using those for. So another one will be for a fall and winter photo and video shoot that will be able to replace some of the content that's in the commercial to be more seasonal. So given the timing that all of this is coming out, it'll probably be used next year, but we'll be able to get some assets that we can use for social media until that time. We'll continue to do a fall 2022 Expedia co-op campaign, along with a domestic advertising co-op with hotel beds that will run from August to September to capitalize more on the shoulder season. And then we'll continue to do also our 4th project will be the streaming advertising that we've been doing that we feel like has done really well. So it's just another avenue for us to get our commercial out in front of people and in their living rooms as commercials on traditional TV continue to just to be almost a little outdated and extremely expensive. This is a really affordable option to get in front of people on their TVs. And lastly, before we get to the commercial, we have our new Kit Carson Trail audio tour. So the virtual experience is finally here. So what happened and what's new? What did we create here? So we have a new audio tour that was scripted and recorded for every stop on the Kit Carson Trail. The landing page was also redone to incorporate all of the Kit Carson Trail assets. So I'll show you what that all includes. The tour was actually built inside of our site, so no third-party app was needed or used, so there's no download that's needed. They go right to that landing page. We also have a QR code on the new map that we redid to incorporate this. So those are being printed and should be to us soon, so they'll just be able to scan that right from the hard map if they do come inside the visitor center. Otherwise, we'll be promoting some social media ads around this to get this out. And as mentioned, the brochure was updated too. So let's take a look at that. All right, so bear with me here because I have to get out of the presenter mode. Let's see what we can do. For those in the IT, are we able to mirror my screen or will it only show the presentation?
I would sing a song to all of you, but Chris would not probably like it if I did that,
Yeah,
so
so
we'll just give
go
IT a second here to
down.
fix it.
Where's the video at?
I think we
Yeah,
just
there
need
we
to do
go.
this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we want Kate Carson Trail. There we go. Okay, so I'll just toggle back.
Yeah.
Okay.
between those.
All right, now we are up and running. Thank you so much. All right, so what you're seeing now is the redesigned Kate Carson Trail landing page. So when you go to that visitcarsoncity.com/KCT, this is where it will land you, explaining what the trail is, how to do the interactive audio guide, and where to start. So you just click the Start Here button. You can actually download the map like you used to be able to. Zach put together an incredible video with Dan Neverett from the museum that tells what the trail is about and what your experience is. We'll be hopefully doing an updated one explaining the audio tour as well that we'll be able to use on social media too. And then we had really long descriptions of each site, and it was one long scrolling page. So we kept that page, but we kind of hid it in the background so that if people really want to do a deep dive, they can. But otherwise, we weren't really seeing a lot of people viewing that anyway, but we wanted to keep them in case we had those history buffs out there too. And then at the end here, we also are kind of pitching the Ghost Walk Tour, which is a great tie-in to the Kate Carson Trail, of course. And so you can find a tour by clicking that on the bottom. So if you go on this page and you're looking to start the tour, all you do is click Start Here. Now, this is meant to be mobile first. Rarely people are going to do this on their desktop. So this looks a little bit different than what you're going to see now. So I encourage you to please go to this on your phone when you get a chance so you can see how this really looks. So you'll click Start the Tour. You'll also have a tutorial that will pop up if you have never entered this before. But it has each stop along the way. Here's your tutorial on the left. I'm going to dismiss this for now. But you'll click which stop you're at. It'll give you a short description if you just want to read it, or you can just press play.
Welcome to the Nevada State Museum,
you guys might have to help
formerly
me with
the
some
U.S.
audio
Mint,
in the
located
back.
at 600 North Carson
But
Street.
each one is about a minute
the Mint,
long.
completed in
And you can
1869 at the peak of
actually
Silver
tap
Dome,
each one of
wasn't
these if
actually
you'd like, or you can toggle to this next here and it will just bring you from stop to stop throughout the way. And we have pictures of each home, which is really helpful because on the hard map, sometimes it can be confusing. We have the markers now, which are super helpful. So I really think this is the last piece that was needed to really recreate the Kit Carson Trail experience since we did just putting in the new markers and going through that project. So we're really excited about this. It really just launched kind of last week. So I'm excited to start hearing feedback from visitors. So any questions on the Kit Carson Trail experience on the audio tour?
No, I think you're right. That was the missing piece, and glad we got that up. It's a great addition, I think.
Me too. Thank you. Yeah. So if you want to go through and try it, we'd love any feedback. I think it's helpful to have, the more eyes on it, the better. We haven't heard anything negative yet, but most people leave the visitor center and we don't see them again. So if there's any locals who do try this, we encourage you to come into the visitor centers, let us know what your experience is and if there's any way that we can improve. All right. Give me 1 second here. Nope. We are good. So the last slide we have here, of course, are the new commercial and photo assets. So, sorry, multitasking here. Thank you. All right. So I will take you through. We have a link that's going to take you out here that'll show some of the photos in the video. But we know this has been months, almost a year in the making, to be honest. But our commercial is finally done, about 95%. We have a couple of tweaks to make with some audio that's not really noticeable, but is noticeable to us and Zach and the team. But we're pretty proud of what came here. And I have to give just immense kudos to Zach on this because he really was the leading force in this. And whenever there was talent scouting or location scouting, he was out there wherever he could, and of course has a great relationship with Trespasser Productions, who was the one who made all this happen too. So I don't think we could have pulled this off without him for sure. So and he also pulled double duty as also being part of the production team for Trespasser too. So he was he really just did an incredible job. So big claps to Zach for that, and to Trespasser, who really brought this concept of nostalgia to life that we were really looking at. So I'm going to kind of quit talking and let you see for yourself. All right. Sorry, toggling between all of this on the screen share is a feat of its own. Okay, can we make sure we have sound too? Make sure mine is up.
Let's go on a trip.
Don't have sound yet.
Let's see for the bottom right hand. Can we do just the regular screen next to the pause?
This guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
Do you need to look?
Let's go.
If I had the voiceover script, I could pretend I was the lady that did it. Yeah, let's.
I think we'll
I'm just gonna plug it.
take a quick recess while the
Yes, please.
technical issues are being worked out.
Okay.
Recess. It is now 4:49, and Lydia, take it from there.
All right. So I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna have to do this in kind of a makeshift way, but the audio is not coming through to through the TV. So I'm gonna put the microphone near my computer, and we're gonna do our best. Hopefully, you can see how beautiful at least the visuals are here, and we can go from there. So
Can you just give us a second before you start, because we're not seeing the video yet.
yes, let us know when you see
There you
it.
go.
Okay,
We're good.
we're good. All right. Here we go.
Let's go on a trip. The kind like we used to, with nowhere to be and everything in front of us. We'll measure our memories and switch facts, stories, and smiles, leaving our worries in the dust. We'll walk through time and wish we could borrow more. Because what's happening in these very moments are the good old days. Live them now in Carson City, Nevada.
Could you hear that?
Yes.
I hope so. I'm going to play it one more time so you guys can see it again.
Let's go on a trip. The kind like we used to, with nowhere to be and everything in front of us. We'll measure our memories and switch facts, stories, and smiles, leaving our worries in the dust. We'll walk through time and wish we could borrow more. Because what's happening in these very moments are the good old days. Live them now in Carson City, Nevada.
Very nice. Good work, Seth.
Thank you, everyone who helped pull this off. It was definitely no one person. I mean, between us getting it figured out here with Visit Carson City, and there were actually a lot of logistical things we had to, and hoops we had to jump through, and then working with the Trespasser crew, they went above and beyond to really pull this thing off. And then there were multiple people who just donated time and equipment literally because they wanted to be a part of it. Like we have friends in the film industry who film anything you could possibly think of, including the recent, the new Top Gun film. But they wanted to come out and film trains, so they donated their time and equipment and really helped pull this thing off. And it's I'm really proud of this now. And just hearing some feedback from other people in the industry, they are quite blown away by the visuals in this. And as far as the story and the visuals that you see here, everything was 100% shot in Carson City limits. Sometimes that feels a little odd because some of those locations look a little like that's got to be outside. But no, they truly were, even on the lake up in Tahoe. And I think it'll really just add a whole new, wow, what is that place? We have to go check that out. So I'm really hoping this helps funnel people in to view, check out what Carson City is, what they can do here. And then it's up to us from there to keep them engaged and get them out here. But I think this will really, really help. Yeah.
No, I think it encompasses everything you can do here. Like you said, from the lake to horseback riding to the trains. So it's just a great piece, I think.
Great. Happy to hear that.
And yeah, like Lydia said a little bit ago, we'll have a full revised final version coming in shortly. They just wanted to take a little more time to really dial in color and audio. That's an extra 2% that most people don't notice, but it is kind of a subliminal feeling that you'll get, and it'll definitely make it shine a little more. So that's great that they're putting in the extra work to do that too. So I'm really happy with the crew and just how it came out. So thank you, everyone involved.
All right. Any other comments or questions on that? Otherwise, I will go into showing some of the photos and screenshots that we grabbed. Okay. All right. So Stacey and Bobby, you can see the photos that are up here and when I move between them. Okay. Perfect.
Yes.
Great. And we have that, obviously, that commercial that'll be cut into a 15-second as well. And we'll also have shortcuts from all of those locations that we did to be used for social media. So this definitely will be multi-use. The train content was just incredible. I think just seeing that in action was pretty amazing. And huge thanks to Tom Gray, who made it happen and let us just run that train and reverse it multiple times to make this right and wait for the light. And the talent that we had also was great. We had some real life cowboys come in with their horses, and we just really captured some beautiful moments that tied it all together. The boat scene and shot was a monumental feat considering the weather and the coordination of the boat. So huge kudos to everyone who pulled that off to really get that kind of nostalgia feeling from that Chris Craft vintage boat. These are up on Prison Hill. I think some of these stills were really beautiful. This one especially, of them kind of hiking up in that area. We had some dirt biking shots. We actually, part of that is actually from an 8mm camera, part of it. So she was actually filming in real time. So just some really small added touches that really came in there. But some of these stills with the train, I think, are going to make some big waves.
Lydia, Steve, hey, I wasn't able to get it on WebEx. I had to get it on my phone. I'd like to watch that. Is there a link to it that you could send me?
Absolutely. I will send that as soon as I can after the film. After the film. I got it all in my brain now after the presentation. But yeah, absolutely, Steve.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, so just some really beautiful imagery that came from a lot of these. I think that's pretty quintessential Carson City. I know. And these campfire scenes, it was such a quick shot in the commercial, but this was such a special moment, kind of up on Gonai Road, that this family was just really great to work with too. So that's kind of what we have so far. I'm sure there's gonna be more to come of that, but that's really some of the special moments that came from the shoot. And there were so many shots that we could have used. I feel like we could have done probably 3 different versions of this commercial, and been really proud of any of it. But that's what we've got moving forward. If there's any questions, I'd love to take them. That's the conclusion of all the content that I have for you today. But I hope that you are also as proud of this as we are.
Just a great job by the whole team. I don't know if the other board members have questions for you, but wonderful work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I say that on behalf of everyone. All right.
Mike, if I can just add a couple of thanks. I mean, obviously Zach and Lydia did a fantastic job coordinating with Tom Gray, with Parks and Rec to do some of the motorcycle, dirt bike stuff. Just all the partners really went out on a limb. And Zach is sort of understating, like, the guys who shot this thing. I mean, they worked on the Top Gun Maverick movie, Mission Impossible. Like these guys are like, pro filmographers who came out to be a part of this and help produce, this spot. And I can't thank, Spencer and his team and Trespasser and all the guys enough. Like, I think it's pretty cool that they took their time to do this, and a majority of which was in kind, I think, with respect to several of the other fellows' time and everything. And I look forward, you guys, with getting the grant to doing the fall and winter shoot and having Trespasser and the team and Zach to see what they come up with to bring Carson City to life in the fall, from a fall and a winter perspective. So I think it was just awesome, you guys. And I will definitely, I'll get the link out to everybody so you can kind of see it on your computer. I know it's probably weird with the delay and everything, but music's great, voiceover's awesome. It hits on all of our brand pillars, so I think it ties right into our guiding principles. And so I'm really, really proud of this. And this is going to kick off, again, our first really, truly integrated marketing campaign effort here for Carson City. So I think this is great. So, any questions for Lydia? Thank you. Great job, you guys. Well done. I love it. With that, let's go ahead and move on to 10F, future agenda items. Does anyone from the board have anything they'd like to see come forward? No? Okay. Thank you. We'll move on to 10G, upcoming meetings. So right here, same time, same place, Monday, August 8th. And with that, I will turn it back over to you, Chair Jones.
Thanks, David. So that moves us to item 11, around requests for information, announcements, or comments by the board.
I'd like to make a comment.
All right,
This is
Board Member Rader.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank everyone who came out for the Stewart Indian School Cultural Center Museum's grand opening on June 18th. I think we had close to 200 people just for the grand opening itself, and I really appreciate everyone who came for that. And then we also were open for the entire time of the Stewart Father's Day powwow. This is the first powwow in 2 years. So it was very well attended. I don't have numbers. I have no clue how many people came to the powwow. I do know that we probably had 500 people go through our museum over those 2 days. Several hundred of them did sign in, but several hundred others did not sign in. So it was a really great day. I know we had many alumni who came from far away for both the grand opening and the powwow. So I know we had visitors, a lot of people came up from Arizona. A big group came up from the Las Vegas, Moapa area. So I know there's no metrics for this, but it would be really nice to find a way to do a survey of the powwow participants so that we can see how many people did stay in the hotels here in Carson City, because they were here for the 2 days and I know they must have stayed overnight. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. Thank you again.
Bobby, yeah, no, you guys did a great job with the event, and the whole ceremony was fantastic. If you would like, we can certainly get a link to you to get out to participants or vendors or whoever you would like to send that out to. So that's something, just reach out to Stu and we can customize one specifically for the powwow. I'm happy to do that, because you're right. I mean, there had to have been 2,000-3,000 people over the course of the weekend. So trying to capture maybe where they were staying, kind of similar to what we do with other events, we would love to do that.
Yeah, I think that's a really great idea. I know in
Okay.
the past, Sherry Rupert did a survey of the powwow, and so I don't believe they did one this time, but I think it's a great idea. And I know those people shopped and went to the restaurants and stayed in the hotels, and it's an important contribution to Carson City. So I just wanted to bring attention to it.
Absolutely, yes. Let's collaborate on that, and we could even maybe reach out to Kyle at Travel Nevada too to see if he was tasked with doing anything as follow-up and just coordinate with him. So we're not duplicating each other's efforts in case he was doing something at Brenda's request. Great.
Sure.
Yeah.
And one more event that we have coming up is the Remembrance Run. The second one will be August 14th out here at Stewart. There will be probably close to 100 runners who will go along with Kudavin Stevens, the Yerington Paiute track athlete who organized the last Remembrance Run. And I know that people will be coming from far away. I know Billy Mills will be here with his wife, and he's a really well-known Native athlete as well. So it's going to be a pretty big event. They've invited speakers to be here and to greet people at the end of the run. So this time they're running from Yerington to Stewart. They should be here about 2 p.m. on August 14th. And I'll let you know more as we get closer to the date.
No, thank you, Bobby. I can tell you I was absolutely blown away by the attendance of the grand opening and the individual stories. It was just a wonderful event, I thought, and just great. Any other requests or announcements from the board? With that, we'll move on to item 12, public comment. I don't see any, so that'll move us to our last item, and that's to adjourn. If I can get a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
We're adjourned.
Second.